Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent, close to my heart maker, and today I'm joining with the Makers with Heart for another collaboration, and we are focusing on digital art. So I'm going to let you see my iPad as I go in and I'm adding an image to a new project. I'm going to get rid of my old project and start a new one, and then I'm going to click on images and type in Floral Wreath, and it's going to bring up various images, and the one that says upload is going to be the one that I need to choose. It's the very first one. So I'm going to bring that into my canvas and put it up in the corner so I can see basically the size. I clicked on edit and it told me the exact dimensions that I had, and then I decide I'm going to go to actions and duplicate this particular wreath so I have a couple of them to work with, and I'm going to resize this one. So you will see at the end of this video I also created a scrapbook layout, but I'm going to size this down because I want to make a card for you today. And on this smaller one, I want to change it from a cut file to a drawn image. And so I'm going to use those drawing tools, my Cricut, and put a marker in and draw with it. So I changed it under the edit section. I changed it from a basic cut to a pen. And then I chose just some random green pen that was listed on here. And then I also went back to that big wreath and I duplicated it again. And I'm going to use that third wreath as another small wreath that I can use on a card later. But I will show you something with that little second wreath as well. Well, third wreath, second cut wreath. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is to save my project, and so I saved it as Floral Wreath just so that I can find it quickly in the future. And then you're going to see that when I am cutting it, I needed to have things in my Cricut for a pen, and I messed with a couple of different pens. And let me show you one more thing. Do you notice on the top of my Cricut mat it said NS? That was a notation for myself that this is not a sticky mat at all. And I find that the ones that have lost some of their stick are the best ones for our white daisy cardstock. If you put white daisy cardstock on a brand new mat, you will hate your Cricut. So I use my mats that have lost some of their stick, and that's what I use my white daisy cardstock with. Okay, you notice I had a couple different pens that I messed with, and I loaded and unloaded my mats. I had to make sure that I was not using a Cricut pen. I was using some other markers. I wanted to make sure it was plenty juicy and that I could make it come down far enough and get good contact with my paper. And voila, finally I have good contact with my marker, the right marker. It's still a green marker and it's actually writing on my cardstock, so we're ready to roll. And I have sped this up, and I have also cut out some different parts so that you do not have to watch the whole video of this drawing out my wreath. But sometimes when we have very detailed images, when we cut them out, it's kind of a headache to weed out all of those minute little pieces. And I do weed them out. It's not that I don't weed my images, but if I don't have a lot of time, one of the best things I can do is I can draw instead of cut. I do have a Spellbinders tool-in-one. I do not show it in the video, but it has this round bristly brush that you can roll across your items, and I do it on the back of my VersaMat and it helps weed it out. Okay, so I also did cut a large piece of cardstock for the large wreath, and I wanted to show you here that when I cut my images, it's the part that faces down to the mat that I actually use. And you'll see here I flip it over and voila, this one is the better one to use. If you use the other side that's facing up, you tend to see a lot more of the white core from our cardstock. And next, we have a whole bunch of little sequins that have flowers, some different embellishments. These are little rubber shapes that I had. And I just dug through my stash, found all sorts of things that I might want to embellish with. I even have some wild berry that's left in my stash. And here I'm going to show you one more time that wreath. This is the small one that took forever to weed. And as you can see, if you are up close, the white core is showing through. That was what was facing up on my Cricut mat. When I turn it over, you don't see that white core. It looks so much nicer. So one of the things you can do when you cut is you can click to use the mirror image, and that will work much better, especially if there's an orientation to what you cut, like especially for letters. And this is the marker I used. It doesn't even have a brand name on it. I'm not sure what it was. Okay, so I just have some old purple cardstock that I cut down to a card base, and it's too dark to write inside my card, so I put another panel of white cardstock inside, and I put my wreath on the front. And obviously the flowers are even green, so that's why I had dug through my stash and I came up with things that I want to put around. So I started with those rubber shapes, and I really liked those. It's like a really bright pink, maybe a lighter red. I really liked those, so I started off with those because that gave a different texture than the sequins. It has a little bit thicker layer, and then I added on the sequins as well. And then I came in with my liquid pearls, and this was the lemon chiffon, and all the places that had those little buds, I don't know what it's called, that sort of flower, I went around and did my liquid pearls, and it gave it yet another texture. This banner is from an old card kit. It was just something I had in my stash. And so I wanted to type thankful for you. So I typed thankful in our Clover ink, and then I stamped for you over top. It actually layered over top, and I stamped that in the intense black ink. Since I didn't have enough room for the whole saying, I just layered it over top, and it really looked pretty nice. These sentiments I got off of the Crisp Air card making stamp set. Do you ever overlap your sentiments like this? It is a great solution whenever you don't have enough room for whatever it is you're trying to stamp, and it does look pretty nice. Okay, next I'm putting on some foam squares, and I'm using the ones that come from the Slimline shaker card. Do you realize that the price per foot of 3D foam tape is more expensive than buying the Slimline shaker cards and using all of the little pieces that come inside that one? That's just a great tip for you. And here is my final project with a card. And then I also did a layout, and this was for a cut image. And I layered it with a lot of wooden shapes and also some old acrylic, plastic, something flowers that I colored with my tri-blend markers. You can see I used my white opal and lemon chiffon pearls, liquid pearls in the middle and for little buds around it, just like I did on my card as well. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you will check out all of my other Makers with Heart. Their channels are listed in the description. Also consider giving me a like and subscribe to my channel and even leave a sweet comment. And feel free to share this with your crafty friends. So I'm leaving the playlist and it's in the description, and hopefully I can put a link right here, and you need to go back and check out all of the ideas with our digital art collection.